Amidst the gruesome theater of war, military forces clash in a relentless symphony of bloodshed, unleashing the full fury of human violence. This wretched specter of chaos and carnage, known as war, casts a long and sinister shadow over society, leaving behind a trail of unspeakable horrors. The consequences of war are nothing short of apocalyptic. In such dark times, vigilance is the key to survival. Whether you are a mere civilian or a battle-hardened soldier, knowing where to tread lightly can be your ultimate salvation. In this video, we'll show you top 10 places that you should avoid during a war. Number 10. Political protest locations. Locations where political protests or demonstrations occur can become volatile during times of war, as they may lead to clashes with security forces or armed groups. They are often a target of violence, as they are associated with political argument and opposition. Being present in such locations increases the risk of harm to oneself. Governments and armed groups may perceive political protests as a threat to their authority or military operations, leading to rage and wrath. Therefore, to ensure personal safety, it is wise to stay away from political protest locations during wartime. Number 9. Communication centers. The facilities related to telecommunications, broadcasting, or internet infrastructure can also be a risk to your life. These centers are often targeted by opposing forces as they play a vital role in coordinating military operations and relaying information. Being present in a communication center increases the risk of being caught in direct attacks or bombings. Communication centers may become hubs for intelligence gathering, making them potential targets of forced entrance or destruction. It is better to avoid communication centers during a war for self-protection. Number 8. Remote or isolated areas. Remote or isolated areas might seem safer during a war, but they can also become dangerous due to infiltration by armed groups or lack of access to essential services and resources such as healthcare, food, and clean water, making survival challenging for individuals seeking refuge. These areas may have limited communication and transportation infrastructure, making it difficult to receive aid or evacuate if necessary. These areas can be targeted by armed groups or become battlegrounds, putting the lives of those present at significant risk. Avoiding these areas is a better choice. Number 7. Religious or cultural sites. Religious or cultural sites, such as temples, mosques, churches, or historical landmarks, can be targeted as these sites hold significant historical, spiritual, and cultural value to communities, and their destruction can lead to the loss of irreplaceable heritage. Also, these sites often attract civilians seeking refuge or shelter, and their destruction can result in the loss of innocent lives. Therefore, it is important to respect and protect religious or cultural sites during a war to preserve cultural diversity, promote peace, and safeguard human lives. Number 6. Industrial areas. Industrial areas often contain hazardous materials, such as chemicals or flammable substances, which can pose a significant risk if damaged or destroyed during conflict. This can lead to environmental pollution, fires, and potential health hazards for nearby populations. Industrial areas may be targeted by opposing forces due to their strategic importance or potential economic impact. Attacks on these areas can result in widespread destruction, loss of infrastructure, and disruption of essential services. Therefore, it is safer to avoid industrial areas during a war to minimize the risks associated with these factors. Number 5. Capital cities. Capital cities are often major targets during times of conflict due to their political significance. They can be subject to increased military presence and the possibility of attacks or bombings. They are likely to experience intense fighting, bombings, and destruction, posing significant risks to civilians. Capital cities are usually densely populated, making it challenging to ensure the safety and well-being of residents. Evacuating from capital cities helps minimize the potential harm caused by direct attacks, urban warfare, and the disruption of essential services. Number 4. Military installation. military installations are likely to be heavily targeted by enemy forces, making them dangerous for civilians. These installations often contain weapons, ammunition, and other hazardous materials that can pose a threat to those in the surrounding area. There may also be strict security measures in place that could make it difficult for civilians to enter or leave the area. Military installations are often strategic locations, making them potential targets for bombing or other attacks in order to weaken the opposing forces. Number 3. Government buildings. Government buildings are often strategic targets for opposing forces, making them high-risk areas. They may be subject to bombings, attacks, or sieges, putting anyone present in immediate danger. Moreover, government buildings may contain sensitive information or materials that could be targeted or pose risks if accessed unintentionally. Therefore, it is safer to avoid government buildings during a war to minimize the risk of harm or unintended consequences. Number 2. Border regions. Border areas can be volatile during times of war, with increased security measures and potential for border clashes. Border regions often experience heightened tensions and military activities, making them volatile and dangerous areas. Additionally, border controls and checkpoints may be heavily fortified, making it difficult to enter or exit safely. Therefore, it is safer to avoid border regions during a war to minimize risks and ensure personal safety. Number 1. Active war zones. Areas where active fighting is taking place should be completely avoided. They are characterized by intense fighting, bombings, and gunfire, posing a direct threat to the lives of individuals. Additionally, armed groups and military forces may target anyone present in these areas, leading to a high likelihood of being caught in the crossfire. Therefore, it is essential to avoid active war zones to prioritize personal safety and survival. During a war, it is important to prioritize safety and take necessary precautions. This could include staying informed about current events and potential risks, avoiding areas with known conflict or military activity, and following any instructions or guidelines from government authorities. It's also important to have emergency plans in place and to stay connected with loved ones. Additionally, it's crucial to remain calm and not engage in any risky or dangerous behaviors that could put yourself or others in danger. Remember, safety should always be the top priority during a time of war. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you haven't already, then don't forget to subscribe and press that like button. Also, hit the bell icon so you could never miss new updates from us. Stay safe, and we will meet you in the next one.